Hey guys, Lugiamaster here, and today I'm going to be doing a creepypasta reading. Today I'm going to be reading Old Chateau Secret. Now, it's been a while since I've done one of these, so if I screw up somewhere while reading, sorry, just ignore it, and all will be good. So, without further ado, grab a drink, grab a snack, grab your friends, turn the lights down and the volume up as we journey into some creepypasta reading. Old Chateau Secret. We have all played Pokemon at least once in our lives, or at the very least heard of it. We all hear how nice the world of Pokemon is, how fun it is, how untrue this is, as there is a terrible truth that resides within a rickety old house deep in Eterna Forest of the Sinnoh region. The truth of one of the most gruesome incidents in Pokemon history. Cindy Arsenieu was a young girl who lived in the mansion owned by her father, Leonidas Arsenieu, and their graying butler Chives. Cindy was a sweet young girl who loved her father very much, but was often very lonely due to her father being busy constantly. All she truly wanted was a friend, and one day she was granted her wish when a peculiar Pokemon appeared in front of her as she was watching TV in an upstairs bedroom, the name of which she later discovered was Rotom. Delighted, she would play with her new friend daily, discovering Rotom's shapeshifting abilities. Together, they would prank Chives. Cindy would have the Pokemon transform into household appliances and shock the butler when he attempted to use them. The butler would laugh warmly, and Cindy came running out of hiding, shouting, "I got you! I got you!" It was on the day of Leonidas's wedding anniversary that the incident occurred. Leonidas's wife, Victoria, had died during childbirth, and he held a grudge against his daughter, even though it was not her fault. She could always feel his cold stares at her turned back, but she loved him to pieces regardless. This particular day, Leonidas longed for his wife to be at his side. He sat at his long dinner table, downing enough wine to quench the thirst of a room full of governors. "Another glass for you, Victoria!" as he would bellow and belch. Chives was upstairs tucking a blanket over the shoulder of his sleeping Cindy when he heard the drunken shout of his master from downstairs. "Chives, come downstairs at once!" Recognizing the drunken wobble of Leonidas's voice, Chives switched the light off in Cindy's room and hurried downstairs. Within the dining room, the butler found the master of the house reduced to a drunken mass of limbs sprawled across the wine-stained dining room table. Chives smiled gently before speaking. "Yes, Mr. Arsenieu." The man slowly lifted his head, his forehead wrinkled, and his cheeks red and sweaty. "I'm hungry. Make me a steak." "Yes, sir. How would you like your steak cooked?" Leonidas groaned, reaching for a glass, knocking it over and frowning at the clatter of it hitting the table and spilling its contents over his already soiled pants. He glared at the butler with glazed eyes. "Get out!" Chives knew that Leonidas had an unpredictable temper even when he was sober, and did not want to take any chances. "Of course, sir. I will be back momentarily with your food." When Chives returned to the dining hall, Leonidas was in an even further drunken state. He carefully set down the plate of meat in front of the man. "I hope you enjoy it, sir." Leonidas slowly placed a piece of meat in his mouth and chewed before spitting it in the poor butler's face. With a shout, he grabbed the plate with the remaining steak and threw it against the wall behind him. The noise of shattering porcelain traveled upstairs and awoke Cindy. She stumbled downstairs, bleary-eyed, to find her father shouting at Chives. "My fucking steak was supposed to be well done, you fucking idiot!" he spat. "Dad, what's wrong?" Leonidas turned around to see his daughter staring at him with wide eyes, a smaller version of her mother in every respect. His voice was tight. "Go to your room, sweetheart. I'm just talking to Chives." She narrowed her eyes, looking at the state of the dining room. The spilled booze, the smashed plate, the steak's juice running down the wall. The steak knife still clenched in her father's shaking hand. Cindy ran to the butler and wrapped her arms around his leg. No, I am not going to leave. Leonidas looked at her and up to Chives. Go to your room, Cindy. No! His eyes darkened and his voice became louder. He advanced towards her and grabbed her by the wrist. Go to your room, you little bitch. You're hurting me, she cried. Leonidas smacked her across the face, and after the initial shock she began to cry. Looking down at her, his face softened and he began to move closer to her again. But Chives moved in front of his path. Please do not harm the girl, master. Get the fuck out of my way! He reached into his pocket and summoned his Typhlosion. Typhlosion, get them out of my way! The beast released a burst of flame from its mouth. Cindy ran, and the Pokemon directed its attack towards the sudden movement. With a flash, Cindy's white nightgown was alight. The light cotton acted as a quick ammunition as the flames crept up her body. She was screaming and batting at her dress, and screaming. Leonidas quickly realized what he had done, running towards his daughter and attempting to put out the flames consuming her body. He grabbed the closest liquid and doused her with it. The fire blazed brighter, and Cindy screamed louder. What on earth do you think you are doing? Chives yelled, shoving the shocked Leonidas to the side. Tearing and ripping at the burning nightgown, Chives soon found it was too late. Cindy's screaming ceased, and her body fell limp in the butler's arms. Is she okay? Leonidas said. Cindy? The little girl's arms were burned black, and her leg a raw, aching red. Her mouth was still open wide in the picture of agony. Cindy? 24 hours later, the door of Arsenu Chateau was broken down by a group of authorities. The smell of wine, blood, and burnt flesh hit their noses. They had been tipped off by a man who could barely speak through his sobbing. Two people are dead in the mansion in the woods near Eterna. Inside of the house, they could hear the soft humming of a Pokemon. Crying? Following the noise, they walked into the dining hall. A wine-soaked table, a chandelier, an orange Pokemon hovering over a spot on the floor humming quietly as it stared down at something. On the floor lay a girl, burnt black and red from her legs to her neck, almost in the shape of a dress. Her eyes were closed, as was her mouth. There were tears streaked down her face. 3 feet away from her lay an elderly man, a steak knife lodged in his throat. He was dressed in a typical butler's attire. To this day, no one has inhabited the old chateau except for Pokemon. Rumors say that Cindy and Chives still lurk through the halls of the chateau, lost, looking for a way out. It is said that Rotom still plays with Cindy by turning into the television to prank Chives. I got you! I got you! Well, that was less creepy and more sad. Yeah, I know I may have slurred my lines here and there, but I managed to get through it. And that's all that matters. Now, I have to say that this is a pretty good creepypasta. I mean, it may not be creepy in a sense, but it still has some creepy vibes to it. So it's like, it's sad and creepy at the same time, but it's like, it's a weird blend of it. And I really liked this story. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this video as well. And I can't wait to read more creepypastas for you guys next week. So, without further ado, if you guys like this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to join the Creeper Cat Army. I will see you later, recruits. Peace out.